Welcome back to Marvel Monday. I'm Mike. Wait,
And
I am Mike.
I am Brandon.
Yeah, you are Brandon. You sound like you are also sick.
As I am sick too.
Yeah, yeah. So he's muscling through anyway for you, our listeners. So
hmm
appreciate him.
I'd name you by name, but that would
Yeah,
take
yeah,
2 minutes.
yeah. I'd name you by name, but you already know who you are.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting week for like Sony and Marvel because
Mhm.
there's been some big leaks. I think we talked about the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer leak that happened, but I hadn't seen it yet at that point. I had just heard
Mhm.
rumors about it, and now it's all over. Like I'm seeing it everywhere, and I think it's one of those things where as quickly as they're getting it up, it's getting pulled and taken down.
Yeah.
I'm also
So
wondering. Go ahead.
supposedly, I guess, as always, it's a trailer. But, if you don't want to be spoiled before watching the next trailer, stop listening or keep
Right.
listening, but just turn the volume down so we get the view.
Right.
Um, the Supposedly the trailer leaked, and then it was a person, internet rumor. It was a person that actually hacked into Sony, which wouldn't be the first time that happened,
Right.
and they actually got the full movie,
Yeah,
and they
I'd
were
heard that
selling
too.
it online.
Yeah, and I'd heard that somebody had it posted long enough before it was taken down
hmm
that they know that multiple people had gotten it downloaded before then. It's like
hmm
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, they said
Um,
like finished CGI and everything, which makes sense. It's less
yeah,
than a month to release,
yeah, yeah.
so or a
So
little over a month to release.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
So
so the trailer, I'd like to start off by saying that our prediction from last week was correct. Hulk is in it,
right.
which makes sense because I saw another thing now that had um, it was like Spider-Man Spirit jerseys on sale for a brand new day, and
Yeah,
they had Hulk on the Spirit jersey. It was
right.
like Spider-Man, Hulk, and I think it was Scorpion, which kind of made me think, oh, okay, so is Hulk a villain? Like, are they
Yeah, I
making
don't.
Hulk one of the villains? And I could believe it
Well,
that they're doing Jean Grey mind controlling him and all that. So he's a villain, but not really. He doesn't know what he's
yeah.
doing. You know.
Yeah, it's not his fault. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you think about like, the Hulk, like the original Hulk before he became Smart Hulk, he wasn't really a villain, but yet he was like out of control, not exactly, a
Mm-hmm.
good guy either. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be believable.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, you figure first Avengers movie for the first quarter to first half of that movie, Hulk was kind of a villain because he
yeah.
was attacking
And
Thor. They couldn't control him, and
yeah,
yeah.
in Age of Ultron, he has to fight
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man, so
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then the other thing is too, we had seen some of the merch too that had the Hulk uh, tagged as Brand New Day. I think there was a mask I
Mm-hmm.
showed you that I
Mm-hmm.
found that was that. So and the other thing that is in the trailer is the returning character. I think this is the one anyway that people were surprised about is actually Aunt May. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, is it? I don't think that they're actually going to somehow bring Aunt May
Yeah.
back to life. I don't think
It's like
that would
Star
be
Wars.
really odd.
Somehow Aunt May returned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't remember at the end of it saying Aunt May will return.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm sure it's either just kind of flashback type memories that Peter's having, or it's him in his somewhat altered state where he's going through
Mm-hmm.
whatever he's going through because there's some sort of a metamorphosis going on with him that he's hearing her voice in his head maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah, I could see it being flashbacks that they do, but I was also thinking that shot in the trailer where it's Spidey just like skydiving down the building and it goes
yeah,
into that close up on his eyes and everything. I could see maybe in that moment it's that he's going through a lot in his life, and that it's like he's almost remembering everything that Aunt May was saying. So maybe like
Yeah.
voices are returning in that sense of him just thinking about what she told him.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably what it is. But it was interesting that they're using her in that way. That's
Hmm.
not unprecedented. I kind of feel like they've done that in other Spider-Man movies where they were hearing Uncle Ben's voice,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
seeing him kind of.
In the Tobey Maguire, it was Green Goblin coming
Right.
back to haunt Harry. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's true too. Um, but let's see. So it opens up the unlike the first teaser, which showed Spider-Man fighting the hand ninjas in the open New York sky. This leak reveals the trailer was a misdirection, or maybe this one is. Actual scene takes place inside of a prison setting. Is that the prison setting where Matt Murdock is? We will find out.
mhm.
Um,
What are the
and
odds you
Spidey.
think that the hand is actually like not a major villain? That's just to throw us
Um,
off.
you
That
know,
that could
I
be just a prison break scene, and it's like early on in the movie, and the hand is like, because I heard stuff that it was going to be like a montage of him fighting villains, like the low
right.
level street villains, and I almost wonder if part of that is going to be the hand,
Yeah,
and like maybe it's more than just a quick scene, but I wonder if
yeah.
it's not like they're not
So
the main villain, you know?
here's my thing with that though. If you didn't watch like the Netflix any of the Netflix Marvel stuff, the early Daredevil or the Defenders series, you really wouldn't know who the Hand was.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to bring them into this, I think maybe you're going to be right, because for them to like explain to you who these ninjas are, right? Maybe they're in that prison. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they were in that prison, and
Mm-hmm.
they're part of, like you said, a prison break. It could be something like that. But that could 100% be, typical like misdirection that they're
Mm-hmm.
just trying
Because
to
you
get you to
haven't.
look at this
So
thing.
in this trailer, we did see Scorpion,
Hmm.
correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And a part of me wonders if Scorpion and Hulk are going to be the big villains for
Yeah.
the movie. And yeah, the Hand and like any of those other guys are just the more low level ones.
So I read something that said that the battle between Spider-Man and Scorpion and Mac Gargan
Mm-hmm.
is not that long of a scene,
Mm-hmm.
and Spider-Man takes care of him pretty quickly
Mm-hmm.
and pretty severely, the way they described it.
Oh,
And
that's
they're
interesting.
thinking that now on the other hand, that could be, maybe there are two scenes. Maybe there is
Mm-hmm.
one early where he bests Spidey, and then later on in the movie he runs into him again, and at that point he's gone through this
Mm-hmm.
metamorphosis that seems like is going to happen, and at that point he bests him easily.
So you're saying that
Um,
Venom beats Spider-Man early on?
you mean Scorpion?
Scorpion,
I,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Scorpion beats Spider-Man early
I
on.
don't know.
That's what you
I'm
said.
just speculating. I'm
No,
just
no, no.
speculating.
I'm just clarifying. Like, you said
Yeah,
Scorpion beats Spider-Man early on.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
speculating.
interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I would.
But the leak
That makes
thing
me
that I
wonder
heard
though.
said that the leak thing that I heard said the opposite. It said that Spider-Man takes care of him pretty
Mhm.
easily and pretty decisively, and it talks about it being like a different Spider-Man, which tells me maybe it's after, whatever happens, that he's got the dark eyes and all that.
Mhm. I would think maybe Scorpion beats him because does Scorpion have the symbiote?
Oh,
And then when he bests Spider-Man, does the symbiote transfer to Spidey? And
right,
then that's what leads him down that road.
right, right. Yeah, and then let's see, the other thing that happens is, obviously we talked about the Hulk
Hmm.
appearing, and it looks like Bruce Banner is being mind controlled by Jean Grey, and she gets him to transform into the Hulk to remove the inhibitor from his arm, or destroy the inhibitor off his arm, and and Hulk out. One thing that I noticed, and I haven't heard anybody else say this, but there's a scene where you see Bruce, and he's in it looks like an oversized like jacket or something, a
Mhm.
shirt,
Mhm.
and he looks like he's about to Hulk out, and Spidey is in the scene in the foreground, and he's standing in front of some windows,
Mhm.
and the pose that he's in and the way that he's standing looks mysteriously like the scene that you've seen of what everybody's speculated as the Sadie Sink character or Jean Grey.
Mhm. That's what
It
I was gonna say.
looks mysteriously like the exact same shot, and I'm like, wait, the whole time was that not Jean Grey? Was that actually Bruce Banner
Mhm.
being mind controlled by her? Maybe, but
Mhm.
him standing in that pose, that everybody's like, oh, well, that's Sadie Sink's character.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that
so
looked
I
like the
haven't heard
same
anybody else
shot to
speculate
me.
that. Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
that'll be an interesting one.
yeah.
And then there's a little bit more of Frank Castle because it looks like Spidey is taking MJ to the Punisher to have him protect her.
Mhm.
Another thing I heard there, we're all about spoilers today, so if this stuff's true, because nobody knows. But another thing I heard there was that um, in that whole part of the movie, that eventually yeah, MJ convinces Frank that he needs to go help Spider-Man. Um, that she'll be fine or whatever. So if
Mhm.
that's true, does that see what I'm most curious about is we see a lot of things in both of these trailers, and they're similar, right? They have similar scenes in them. There's a little bit different scenes in this one than in the first one. I'm curious about the order that these
Mhm.
happen in. Like the
Mhm.
scene with Spidey and MJ and Ned in the apartment versus, the scene with him in the cocoon basically, or the scene of him fighting the hand, or, the scene where he's got the super dark eyes and looks like he's about to pass out and that kind of thing. Like I'm most curious about the order of those events because it's like, does
Mhm.
the metamorphosis stuff happen real early in the movie, and then
Yeah.
he's just got these, beefed up powers through the rest of the movie, or is all the other stuff like the scene with the Punisher where he's chasing him in his van, or he's following him, I guess, not chasing him, in his van while Spidey's trying to deal with that tank,
Mhm.
and that does that all happen early in the movie, and all the other
Mhm.
stuff happens later in the
Yeah, I
movie? Like that's
wonder.
that's what I'm
I was
curious about.
thinking how off or how much Punisher's actually going to be in the movie. I wonder if they're going to put him in that same Doctor Strange role, where
Yeah,
No Way Home Doctor Strange was in it early on, and then they kind of trapped him somewhere so that he was disappeared for a majority of the
yeah,
movie, and then came back in the final act. Wonder if
yeah,
they'll do the
yeah,
same thing for Punisher. Like it'll be him early on, maybe helping. Like that whole chase scene will be early on,
yeah.
and then they'll just like sideline him, have him come back for the end.
Yeah, that could be, and that would explain this other scene where he's taking MJ
Hmm.
to Frank to help him keep an eye on her, protect her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's. I mean, there's more to that the new trailer. The other thing that I heard just before we started recording was that the actual trailer itself is expected to be released either Monday, which is today, because that's when this episode comes out, or Wednesday of this week. So
Mm. That's
we'll
what I
see
was
if
gonna
that's
ask. I wonder
accurate.
when you think the trailer's gonna drop now, because we'll be able to see stuff clearer too.
Yeah,
Because yeah, the quality, while good,
yeah,
it obviously wasn't the
yeah,
best. Watermarks all over it, all that.
yeah, yeah. Which is, I don't, and if it's fake, they put the watermarks there to trick us. But I don't think
Yeah.
it's fake. It looked too good to be fake. And
Yep.
then to make matters worse this week for Marvel and Sony, um, recently there's a scene that's excuse me, that's all over now, that is allegedly the final battle scene from Doomsday, from Avengers Doomsday.
Hmm.
That one's more interesting because that one I showed you it when we were talking earlier. I've seen a couple of different versions of it. They all pretty much show the same thing, but some are a little clearer than others. But it's basically, it looks like your standard Avengers fight scene. I mean, even to the extent where there's a bunch of the heroes that are kind of standing in a in a circle going around them, like they did
Hmm.
in the first Avengers movie and in Age of Ultron. Um, so that makes it look more legit to me. The quality of the ones I've seen is so bad
Yeah,
that you really can't tell if it's just AI, which
yeah,
could indicate that it's AI because they purposely had it pixelated really bad to hide that fact. That's a possibility.
yeah.
But the flip side of that is everything that I'm reading has suggested that it's authentic. So
The the part where it was playing like the Avengers theme and you were seeing like the circling and everything, it wasn't the exact thing, but it kind of made me think of like Endgame, like the portals scene,
right,
where it was
right,
basically just like showing off all the different Avengers. The only thing
yeah,
I wonder though is like, and maybe this will be explained throughout the movie, is like like maybe this will be why Doctor Doom's the big threat. But like in Infinity War, all the heroes were split up. That's basically how
mhm,
Thanos won, right?
right, right,
I wonder what the big fight scene is going to be here, because Thanos also had his army.
right.
So I wonder, like, how are you going to have this big fight scene for Doomsday? Who's going to be potentially on Doom's side
Right,
that's fighting it? And
right.
like, how does the movie end? And I know, like, talking Secret Wars is probably going to be Battle World, Battle
Yeah,
World, and like that's probably how it's going to end.
right.
But
Yeah,
like,
a lot of the leaks or the it's either leaks or theories that I've read have suggested that it's going to end right
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, because like the strange part to me is like the people that are saying that guys like Thor, they're gonna die. I've heard Loki, Steve Rogers again.
Hmm.
Well, I guess Steve didn't die, but like I know it's like a soft reboot and everything, but I
Right.
just don't know how many. It's kind of like how many times they've killed Loki off and he keeps coming back. It's
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
like, can you keep doing that and then like
Yeah.
still
Yeah. I
expect there to
think.
be that heaviness for when it
Yeah.
happens? Like Thor has never died, so I think him going out would be a like big moment, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Steve Rogers, we thought was already gone. So if he goes out, like it'll be gut wrenching, but it also won't be like,
Yeah. But he's
oh
still
no,
there somewhere. And if
yeah,
Steve Rogers dies, does Human Torch also die from whatever universe that was?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
does does it happen together? No. So the synopsis that I read of it, and again, I saw it, but it's very pixelated, so you can see characters, but you can't really tell what's going on. But it said
Mm-hmm,
it's at the X Mansion from the whatever the X Men 100. I don't know. I forget that one.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Universe is under siege. Um, Basically, the courtyard of a heavily damaged X Mansion. So that's where that battle is happening.
mm-hmm,
It says Doctor Doom's army is shown activate. Doctor Doom shown activating terrifying force of Sentinels, which, if you remember in the X Men
mm-hmm,
movies, the Sentinels were those robots that were
mm-hmm.
built that
That's also the
could
one
kill.
in the trailer, in the X Men trailer, where you see the Sentinel walking in the background when Cyclops
Right,
is firing the beam.
right,
So that kind of lines up.
yeah, um, and yeah, but he's completely commandeered those robots. I mean, it says we see a massive multi-universe mashup of heroes preparing for a last stand against Doom. The footage shows Chris Hemsworth, Thor, and Chris Evans, Steve Rogers back in action, prepped for battle. The mutant Crossfire, James Marsden's Cyclops, is seen ripping off its massive optic blast, which that was in the other trailer too.
Mm-hmm,
Um, Other X Men heroes spotted or heavily reported in this specific sequence include Nightcrawler, Gambit, and Mystique, who is reportedly using her shapeshifting to mimic Elena Belova during the chaos. Yeah, so that's supposedly what that scene shows, though. It supposedly shows them all at the X-Men, in the X-Men universe, at the X Mansion.
So if they're
Um,
saying that's where the final battle is, I wonder if all the other universes have been wiped out then, and
I
that
don't know.
X Men universe is the last one standing.
I kind of was assuming that maybe it's happening as that universe is on its way, kind of is about to just disappear.
Hmm.
Which kind of makes, if you think about it, makes the whole the whole events of Deadpool and Wolverine
Hmm.
feel like pointless because the
Yeah,
whole thing that he did there saved that universe, and then you know
yeah,
they're just gonna wipe it out with this. But
yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
I'm thinking that's more what it is. I feel like the 616 universe isn't going to be wiped out yet in this because there's all the, again, it goes back to all that ancillary stuff that we've been talking about. Like we've still got season 3 of
yeah,
Daredevil that has to come out. And, I mean, unless at some point they're going to say, well, yeah, that TV stuff though isn't related to this,
yeah. But that would just
if
be
they're going to,
weird. That
it
would be
would be
weird at
weird.
this point.
Yeah, it
Like
would
you
be really
tied it
weird.
together with Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when you
And
brought Fisk in, was in
yeah,
Hawkeye, and then you had
yeah.
what was the Echo, and
Echo.
then that's
Yep.
the same Fisk that's showing up in Daredevil. So to
Yeah.
be like, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah, and now they also pulled Frank Castle into
Yeah,
Spider-Man's universe, so
yeah.
or Spider-Man's story. Yeah, so yeah, I think that would be weird, but that's why I think like at least until we get past Secret Wars, I don't think the 616 universe can be
Yeah.
a casualty. I've heard some other things. If you want to get into some other theories that I've heard though, or rumors,
Hmm.
one of them is that the scene that we all saw from the with Steve Rogers showing him, living in the 1950s with,
Hmm.
holding the baby and that. They said
Hmm.
that scene actually happens really early, and Loki shows up, and basically because of what he did, the timeline that he's in is about to be pruned,
Hmm.
and so Loki moves him from there to the Fantastic Four universe. I think it's the 828 universe. Is
Hmm.
it the 828 universe? Anyway,
Yeah, I think
he
so.
moves him to that universe, and that is what causes all the incursions. That is now why Doom is out to do whatever he's out to do.
So I wonder if that means that Doom is from the Fantastic Four universe. Because I heard a theory that post credit scene where he's in there building with Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
and she has like her force field going in her hand.
Yeah, yeah,
They're saying that scene plays out where she puts her guard down. Then when she realizes that it's
yeah,
just yeah, Victor, that
yeah,
like
yeah. That they know each other well, and there
yeah.
was that whole part because supposedly he's from Latveria, I think it's the country. And
Hmm.
if you remember that scene where they're in like the United Nations or whatever the
Hmm.
equivalent is there, and they show the seat for
Yeah,
the
what was it? The
Latverian
Future
representation.
Foundation.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying, is
that
that's
seat is
where
empty.
she uh she created that. Like that was a foundation created by Sue Storm.
Right.
So I'm wondering if it is like she sees it's Victor and she's like, oh, it's just you.
Yeah, yeah,
And then they were
yeah.
saying that it's supposedly like for the first part of the movie, he's playing good guy,
Mm,
saying like, what these incursions are coming, we have to save the
right,
universes. And then he
right.
turns bad by saying there's only one
So
solution to this.
right. So potentially he's on that ship
Yeah,
that we see at the end of the Thunderbolts. He's
yeah,
on that ship with her. That would make sense. So like maybe the rest of that scene is he turns around like you're saying, and then she's like, "Oh, it's just Victor," and he's explaining that could 100%
yeah,
that would 100% make sense.
yeah.
Um, and there was one other one. Oh, this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but I happened to see this week on I think it was on Instagram. Somebody had posted a deleted scene from Thor Ragnarok. It
Hmm.
was a different version of the scene where he and Loki find Odin, but instead of it being that like I don't know if the Doctor Strange scene was added in later, maybe. Because
Mm.
in this scene, they just find him in an alley in New
Oh
York
yeah.
and he's like crazy. Have you seen that one?
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
Hela
he's
comes there
basically
and
just
just
like a
kills him.
homeless man in New York,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
find him.
Uh, Yeah, I thought that version was like really interesting because it was a whole different. I really like the one they did in the end better because I think
It established New Asgard.
yeah, exactly. And it painted Odin in a lot better light.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't look like, oh, he just went crazy. He was just, you know,
Under Loki's
he knew
spell.
what was coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So a rumor that I had heard was, and like it wasn't anywhere credible, but just thought it was interesting. It was that they had heard Michael B. Jordan would be playing three characters in Doomsday. They
wow.
said it would be obviously Johnny Storm, Fantastic Four, right? From that universe. They said a version of him that's Black Panther that became Black Panther.
Oh, right. Like in I think that happened. Didn't that happen
Oh yeah, and like What If or
in What
something.
If? I think there was a version. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they said the one that kind of surprised me was Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. Have they confirmed if have you heard anywhere if Nicolas Cage is going to be in it as his version of Ghost Rider?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I haven't
And
heard
then
anything.
there was the version of Ghost Rider that was in the uh,
Kind of
Agents of
what's
Shield
yeah,
series.
yeah.
I forget Gabriel Luna, I think, is the actor who played that one. Um, there was something else I was just thinking of related to that too. I also thought I had heard that Jeffrey Wright, who played the Watcher
Mm-hmm.
in What If, was going to be in this as well. A live
Interesting.
action version of him was
Yeah,
going to be in it,
interesting. I wonder how
which
they
would
would
be
incorporate him
yeah. I don't either. That would be
because
like
I don't know how
yeah.
you. He's basically just like the storyteller, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe he'll be the storyteller for this. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I had that was something I'd read too. So lots still coming up. I don't know. Have you read anything else on when the actual like trailer is going to be out for this? I mean, now that there's this leaked like final scene, which is kind
Yeah.
of you know it
Bring
makes you
it.
think that
And they're pushing Spider-Man right now,
right.
so I imagine they'll keep the focus on Spider-Man, and then they'll end up pushing Doomsday at the time when Spider-Man's about to release.
Yeah,
I'm
I also
wondering if
read
that
something.
trailer will be attached to Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be interesting, right? I
If
also
not
read something
then,
that
in
there's
September
two
when the
end credit
Endgame
scenes.
release.
Right, right. Yeah, but it definitely has to be out by then, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's
That's
attached to
September.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, September, and then you're talking what 3 months
yeah,
until
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's got to be at that point. When do tickets go on sale for Brand New Day? Do you know?
I'm not sure. There's that Prime Day early release, so
Right.
you can watch it early.
Yeah.
Um, but you haven't gotten anything from that,
I
right?
haven't
Because
gotten
you
anything about
registered for
that.
that.
Yeah, I registered for that. Yeah, so
But I heard that it's
um,
only at select theaters and it's one showing. So
one
you're not
oh,
gonna
it's
have
a single
multiple.
showing.
Yeah, you're not gonna have multiple
Wow.
showings to select from or anything.
Wow. If you get it, you're going to be lucky.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what comes out with
So
that.
you said two post-credit scenes though
Yeah,
at the end of the
I
movie.
had heard something that said there are going to be two post credit scenes from in Brand New Day. Um, I don't think they said what they were.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard a lot of things that suggested, and we've talked about this before, that Peter gets killed,
Mm-hmm.
and that the end credit scene shows the Venom symbiote bringing him back to life. So
Yeah.
if that's one of them, and I forget what the other one, I believe they said. I also had heard something that said that the ending is going to explain why he and Sadie Sink's character are not in Doomsday,
Mm-hmm.
but
But
it
they were
didn't really
both
go into why.
confirmed for Secret Wars, right?
Right? Yes. Yep. So
Yeah.
there we are. That's
I wonder if
all
they'll
the
do. You remember for No Way Home, they had a end credit scene, and it was basically the Doctor Strange trailer, and that was it.
I don't even remember that one.
I
I
don't
don't
know
even
if it
remember
was the
that one.
only post credit scene or if it was like the second one, and it was just
Yeah,
the trailer for
yeah,
Multiverse of Madness. That was it. I
yeah,
wonder if
yeah,
they would do something similar with like a second post credit scene and just have
yeah,
it be the trailer for Doomsday.
yeah. 100% could be. 100% could be. So yeah, I'd also heard that the trailer, this trailer that was leaked, the release is going to be tied to in some way when ticket sales start. So
Mm.
if that's soon,
Oh, it'll
then
probably end
we
with
could
like
expect to see
get
it soon.
tickets now or tickets on sale,
Yeah,
something like
tickets on
that.
sale now. Yep,
Yep.
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 So that'll be interesting. That should be coming up. Like I said, I heard it could be out by the time this episode comes out, or while you're watching this episode, it may be out, and then you won't be watching this episode. You'll be watching that instead. So
Mm-hmm. Then you can come back and see if we were right.
yeah, exactly. So all right, guys. Well, thanks for checking this one out, and let us know what you think. Let us know your own theories if you have any, or if you've heard different rumors than the ones we talked about. If you stayed this long, then you didn't care about spoilers. So yeah, or you just were that interested in what we had to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
everyone.
guys. See you next week. Check out our regular episode tomorrow and Tuesday and True Crime Thursday. Bye, guys.
Bye.